Ooh, Altered Beast.
Power up.
Uh-oh. Welcome to this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. Today we're going to be looking at a Sega arcade classic adapted to a Tiger Electronic. What are we in for? Are we in for a disaster or is it decent? Let's get into it. Before Sonic was the official mascot of Sega, and way before Sonic the Hedgehog was the pack-in game with the Sega Genesis, you got Altered Beast. How does that arcade classic make the transition to Tiger Electronics? Well, I actually kind of like this one. Now, we all know that Tiger Electronics could never completely emulate the games they were adapted from, but this one is as close to Altered Beast as the Tiger Electronic handheld can get, and I kind of appreciate it. I haven't been able to get past level 3 in this particular Tiger Electronic, but it is pretty enjoyable. This is one of the Tiger Electronics that holds a higher collector value, so it will fetch from $25 and up. So it's very rare if you do find it for less than that. Thankfully, if you want a copy of Altered Beast by Tiger Electronics, you don't have to mortgage your house like you would with many Game & Watch games. My goodness, I can't believe how much those go for on eBay. With the limited technology of LCD handhelds, you have to appreciate how much of the Altered Beast experience this little handheld grasped. Tiger Electronics is notorious for their lazy adaptations of licensed games. However, this one they put serious effort into making it as much like Altered Beast as they possibly could, and you gotta respect that. On top of that, the game is actually pretty decent. As palatable as this game is, I don't think I'm doing any better in this version than I do on the Sega Genesis. Alright, it's that time again. Let's look at the unit itself. I won't get too deep into this because I think most of you have seen enough of my Tiger Electronic reviews, so I don't need to go too much about the general idea of what a Tiger Electronic looks like, but I will go over what the buttons do. There's your jump up. That doesn't really come into play until the third level where you can jump up in the air and attack something. Back, you're forward. You don't really move back, you really move forward. Most of the time you're just going to be using the forward button and the up, and these buttons will be here. Most of the enemies you're going to want to kick in front of you with the kick/attack button. Punch back, that's the only way you can fight back at enemies from behind. And your punch forward, this really comes into handy more so when you got a power up that enables you to throw a fireball. But again, I really can't get over how much I love this front cover. It reminds me of well, the best I can describe it, it's like a Ray Harryhausen movie painted into a heavy metal album cover. It reminds me a lot of like a Merciful Fate album cover, but it looks fantastic. You know, the sad thing is that it also kind of reminds me of a Meatloaf album cover. That's what I hate about Meatloaf, is that a lot of his albums were very misleading, where they have like a album cover that looks like a Merciful Fate album cover, but then when you throw it on, it's something you really didn't care to hear if you were a metalhead. No, I certainly don't care for Meatloaf. For a guy who wrote Warm Fuzzy Ballads, he sure had an explosive temper. As I play Altered Beast and I see the transformations and look at all the monsters that you battle along the way, I can't help but wonder what Altered Beast would have looked like if it were a Ray Harryhausen movie. Oh sure, a lot of the action scenes would have been stop motion animated, but I think it would have been awesome. Ray Harryhausen was dynamite. There's one thing I don't like about this game that makes it kind of awkward. Now, I don't know if it's a glitch or if I'm just moving too fast for the action, but I'll be advancing forward, and you have to advance forward if you want to get to the boss, but I'll keep pushing the forward button, and 10 to 15 seconds, nothing happens. So, I'm not sure what causes that, but that's my only gripe with this particular game. Once you receive a power-up from the dog that bites your ankles like a dog chasing after the mailman, you don't turn into the big muscular man as you do in the Genesis or arcade game. It's straight to the monster. Given that this is an LCD template, I understand why it skips that part in the transformation. And that's something you gotta come to expect with any LCD handheld adaptation of any arcade game. Electronic Altered Beast feels like a rudimentary outline of the arcade classic, but it's an enjoyable one, so I gotta give this one a thumbs up. Well, that'll do it for this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for future episodes of the Straight Edge Game Room. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for any video game accessory, whatever, please leave it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit the like. It helps a lot if you guys like my videos. Take care. Oh sure, it's great to have a complete copy of Altered Beast on the Sega Genesis. However, unfortunately, my cartridge looks like someone dropped it in the toilet.